evening, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to you live from the outskirts here. This is the Gaming Saloon E3 2018 special. Who is your host? Beastburger2448 and Rampant Epsilon.
Hi.
Yep.
Crap, you
Awesome.
that didn't get going?
What?
Didn't get going the music pot.
Well,
I just realized that. Oopsie.
well, you could just be like me and just hook up iTunes. just like play iTunes in the background.
iTunes, what's an iTunes?
It's the one player that everything is loaded into that I feel comfortable with doing the playlist through. I probably will get switched to Windows Media Player, but I don't have a good display for that. That isn't just me cropping the window.
Kind of how I want to do this.
Also, yay, the bot didn't tweet.
Again.
Yep.
Listen.
I don't think it likes multiple streams in a day.
Did it tweet the other times?
No, that was me. If it was the first time
I've
in the
still
day,
gotta fix
that
it.
was the bot.
I've
If it
still
was
gotta-
any other time in the day, that was me.
I still gotta fix it. I will probably be doing that.
Ah.
Also, I don't. Awesome.
I was about to say you could just do like I do and just copy the title from a
I'm
previous
fixing
tweet. Change is necessary. That's literally what I did every single time, and it worked. But yeah, this is our first actual sit down talk about stuff that isn't just us talking over one of the press conferences for once. So we got a few things to talk about. And if our conversation devolves into us talking about the new Smash,
It will.
it will. It's just gonna happen. Because I was not expecting that.
I was somewhat expecting it, but yeah.
Yeah, so, someone who championed the 4.5, I was not expecting 1, 2, 3, 4.5.
Actually, because I'm sure you've got music in the background. Not gonna be.
Yep.
Those cooperate.
Yeah, but before we get into what I could pull together, because actually there wasn't a whole lot to pull for day one, surprisingly.
Not really surprised.
Like, the most I found was just talk about the Nintendo Direct, or some leftover stuff from the Sony Direct, kind of, and maybe a few things from the showroom floor. No real big showroom floor stuff today. I guess it's all tomorrow. Good. Because we have to talk about the EA press conference.
Yep. And I'm
So,
still kind of working on.
oh, I was about to say, did you ever sit down and watch it? Oh, well, once more, you're not missing out on that much.
Yeah, I kind of figured as much. Kind of why I was like,
Yeah, I'm just gonna go in order of this list. This is the order they were presented in, mostly because Anthem was last, and it has some extra stuff here that wasn't. I think they either answered in their
I won't
20-minute
able to
sit down
have the
conversation. Oh,
just saying.
well, I guess I'll just continue to intro it. Can change over whenever. But yeah, they had a 20-minute sit down panel on Anthem at the end of the press conference, where they just kept talking about the game and story shit that they didn't show footage of. Because of course they didn't. But how to sum up Anthem? You remember like Destiny, right?
Yes.
All right, take Destiny, remove multiplayer, remove BioWare's thing about romance options for characters, add in BioWare's standard for RPG stuff, and that's pretty much Anthem. And instead of it being having like one set class, like you pick one of the 3 classes in Destiny, you have 4, for all intents and purposes, classes that you swap between. That you can freely swap between missions. Because you'll have 4 different exosuits essentially. You'll have a general one, a tank one, a magic one, and a speed one. I don't remember their names, and I don't care to remember their names. They are balance, tank, magic, speed. Granted, magic and speed weren't really talked about. It was only balance and tank. So I'm guessing those 2 aren't really that ready yet, even though they were in the footage. But they also confirmed Anthem won't have loot boxes for their mech suits. Or for their game. But they also won't have multiplayer. Which apparently people have a problem with.
Alright. I got that.
And for those wondering, I'm going to be specific here. There won't be competitive multiplayer. There will be co-op, but no versus multiplayer.
Oh, did I do capture mouse? I just realized that. Yep.
Well.
Might want to get rid of that one.
Yep.
Alright.
Yeah, I wasn't super impressed. Like, Anthem looks pretty and nice. But gameplay-wise, I wasn't really feeling Destiny. I still don't really feel Destiny. And this is a live service game. Like, up, down, without question, this is a live service game. And yeah, no, I'm not ready for that. I don't want that. That's not for me.
Yeah, that's the thing that kind of gets me on Destiny, really. I still got to turn this down.
What, the autoplay? Or the music? Ah. Also, there are some fallen ass sons of bitches in the trailer. I swear to God, as soon as I saw them, we're like, Fallen? The fuck? Because they look like Fallen.
Would it surprise you?
No.
I mean...
Because part of this concept sounds like Destiny.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. EA and Activision have a bad habit of wanting to copy one another. And in case you forgot, Bungie's under Activision for Destiny.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
A 10-year, 3-game contract, I would like to remind the folks at home, which is why Destiny is probably not where it should be. Because, they have to they're contractually obligated to make a 3rd Destiny game. They are contractually obligated to create Destiny for 10 years.
You know, that's going to be the thing, too. 3 games in 10 years.
Yep.
How many years has it been since the first game released?
"2014. We're at year 4.
Yeah. And we've already had game 2.
Yep.
Which, now granted, the 10 years would also encompass the development time of Destiny.
Right.
So
Which is probably
we're
another...
probably a little over halfway.
Yeah.
What happens when they make the 3rd game still have like a year or so and Activision pushes them to make a 4th?
Renegotiation of the contract.
But they're still technically under the 10-year part of it.
Right, but that is a 4th game, not a 3rd game, so that lies outside of the contract agreement. Unless there are clauses in there that specify that specifically. If there are clauses in there that specify that exact situation, then they would go forward with what they would need to there. But if not, that would require a negotiation.
It's Activision. You know they plan for that.
Yep.
Because they're going to try to milk Destiny if they can.
Which means Bungie will not get to work on anything for God knows how long.
Which might not be such a bad thing. Because I'm wanting to say a lot of the people that wound up working on Halo kind of splintered off.
Yeah.
So we are technically under a new Bungie than what we were with the Halo era, so...
Yeah, I have to think, like, some people went to 343, some people stuck with Destiny, or stuck with Bungie, but I think some people have left Bungie since then.
Yeah.
Of course, I have to think people have also left 343 that used to work at Bungie, so it's who knows who's working where, unless we start pulling out
let's be
records
honest,
and shit.
Halo 5 is kind of a prime example of a lot of the people that left Bungie for 343 are probably gone.
I don't know. Did anyone from Bungie work on the Spartan Ops? Was on the Spartan Ops team?
I don't.
Because all the problems of Halo 5 are because the Spartan Ops team were the ones who took over the majority of 5's development. Like, if you ever wonder why 5 doesn't work, is because that's the Spartan Ops team. That wasn't the team who made Halo 4.
If you want my honest opinion, I doubt any of them that were from Bungie worked on the Spartan Ops. Because you could tell it felt like a separate being.
Yep.
Like, those were not linked by no sense of the word.
Yeah. Also, Anthem comes out February, which I need to look this up. I know last year someone put together a Google Doc or an Excel sheet that tracked all the release dates get announced at E3, but I believe we have a lot of release dates in February right now.
I'm feeling like we've got a lot. Honestly, like super late Q4 and early Q1 of next year, which is odd.
And we have a whole lot of ambiguous 2019 releases, which apparently, and I read this earlier when I was looking through articles, Bethesda is supposedly for Starlink in Elder Scrolls 6, supposedly waiting on the next consoles for Xbox and Microsoft. Or for Microsoft and Sony.
I don't.
Their words. Actually, no, it's their words on that.
It might be a case of they're saying that more so because of the fact of, let's be honest, it probably is about time.
Yeah.
I still feel like we're rushing this one though.
I think what it is consumer wise, it doesn't feel like it, and it doesn't feel necessary. But development side, I feel like a lot of companies are like, we want something more powerful. We want better tech.
But
And
we really don't need it. I mean, to be honest,
yeah,
and I'm not just saying this because honestly, the Switch has kind of became one of my more favorite consoles out of everything right now. But honestly, look at what the Switch has managed to pull off.
yeah,
We've kind of proven that you don't have to have the best graphics. You have to know what you're doing with those graphics.
yeah. And even when you're on something more powerful like a PlayStation 4 Pro, we're pulling out some really gorgeous, beautiful stuff. And I'm
Well,
like,
that's
why are we
something
wanting
too.
to get rid of this?
That's something too. Okay, have you seen any of the comparisons between the Insane Trilogy on the Switch and the Insane Trilogy on the PS4 Pro?
I have not.
There's honestly, outside of lighting, there's not that big of a difference.
Wow.
It looks just as good on the Switch as it does on the PS4 Pro. It's just, you can tell minor things where it's clearly just the PS4 Pro does have more resources, but it's not anything that blows it out of the water.
Yeah.
It's one of those I would probably be just as fine with it on the Switch as I would on a PS4 Pro.
Yeah. But I just think it's like, if we get rid of these, we are back to the beginning of a console cycle where we're not quite got a grasp on the tech. We're not got quite a grasp on what we're doing yet. So things aren't quite optimized for the consoles. Like, do we really want to trade out consoles that I feel like developers know, they know how to develop for, they know really well, and probably have shortened up development times by some margin to go to a brand new console that will lengthen development times because we are back to figuring out what we need to do for it? I I I don't know.
Personally, I kind of feel like we need to just stick what we've got and not try to push too hard on it because
Yeah,
when we start pushing, issues start happening.
yeah.
Is it honestly? How long has it been since the Xbox One released?
Uh, when I looked at this last, it was 6 years, I think. 'Cause I looked at this the other day when I first saw it. 5 years actually.
So okay, and to put that in perspective, hasn't the didn't the 360 have like a 10-year cycle?
Uh,
I'm wanting to say it was close to that if it wasn't right on
I
the
think an
money.
8-year cycle. Granted, I can only go from when it released to when the Xbox One released.
Well, I mean that's good enough because honestly,
I actually know 11-year cycle in terms of retail availability. That doesn't mean a whole lot.
no.
I guarantee you, when I look at the PlayStation 2, and it doesn't have something ridiculous because it was still around when the PlayStation 4 launched. Yeah, it got discontinued in 2013. That was a 13-year life cycle, but that was not games were not being developed all 13 years for the PlayStation 2.
Oh. Well, unless
Well,
you're Persona.
Relevant games were being developed the entire 13 years.
You and me both happen to think about that at the exact same moment.
Yeah.
But, okay, so you said 8 years between them?
Yeah, about 8 years.
And we're at 6 right now?
Yep.
If anyone was expecting if anyone was expecting a console announcement this year, they're stupid. That would be a next year thing.
Actually, I believe that was the exact. I think that's what Sony just said straight up. It's like, we're not talking about a console until next year.
I mean, even if there's one in the works from both of them, that won't be this year.
Yeah.
That would be next year because they're going to at least want to push that 8. They saw 8 worked. They saw 8 build them up enough of a game library on their consoles. They're going to want to keep doing that. Granted, this generation hasn't really had too many exclusives. And I don't think either console has enough of a game library to even come close to the 360 PS3 era. But I can understand.
Yeah. Actually, let me compare PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4 libraries at the moment. If I can get just a hard number. Ew, come on. Okay, I'm not going to be able to get that number easily. Never mind.
Kind of challenging.
Hang on. Time to ask Google the question and see what comes up.
Good luck with that.
Oh, nope. 1,437 that were released on disc.
And I don't think we've came remotely close to that.
So, as soon as it loads up and I can get to that. Oh, no, go back. Go back. Gave me the page almost immediately. Go back. Go back. Okay, bear in mind that it only says that this is the number on the list, and I guarantee you that does not count every game that is released. It's more than that number. 1,700. But that does not distinguish between things that are released and unreleased at the moment. Only things that are on PlayStation 4 are supposed to be on PlayStation 4 at some point. So that's not an accurate number for us.
Yeah, I mean, although I'm wondering too, how much of that is indie titles? Because we kind of hit that phase.
Yeah.
And that would be ones I would actually be willing to throw out the window. Because, don't really need it to be calculated in, seeing as how pretty much all the indie titles are also PC.
Yeah.
Meaning you can get them on more than just the one. But yeah.
I know I won't adopt early. I never really adopt that early on any console. Mostly because I wait for games, so I have things to play on the console. The fastest adoption I did was the Switch.
Yeah, honestly, that's the one that broke the mold for me. Normally, I'm the exact same way. I want to hold back, but seeing as how the Switch had games from start that I was fine with, and I knew that
Yeah.
those games were going to hold me over between games, like, yeah, I adopted probably early on that one. Probably too early, looking at you, left Joy-Con. But, yeah.
Well, speaking of the rest of EA's press conference, because we have to get back to that at some point.
We don't have to. I mean,
Battlefield 5 can.
Yeah. With
Yeah.
with Battlefield 5.
Yeah. Battlefield 5 confirmed they have their Battle Royale mode called Royale,
Ooh,
and that was it.
creative.
Yep. that was it. That's all we got out of it. Nothing else. And then they teased one of the stories for one of their campaign stories for Microsoft's press conference, which all we got was a bit of a trailer for that and not much else. So I have no idea what the fuck that story is. Another one of those, why do people bump Microsoft's press conference? Like, I don't know what Battlefield 5 story is. Or that, not Battlefield 5 story, that Battlefield 5 story is, really, based off that trailer. Like, I was expecting something more than that, considering that tease, and we did not get that at all. We got Command & Conquer Rivals as a mobile title in a terrible fucking esportsy kind of way announcement that we didn't even get the title to start with, but I felt like it was Command & Conquer after I first saw it. Yeah, it's... yeah. EA Origin Access is a streaming service. Essentially, you pay a monthly fee and you get access to a whole bunch of EA games, including new games. Like, I believe Anthem is in this list.
Okay. But I thought they already did something like this. It might not have been exactly what they announced, but I could have swore there was something very similar to the Xbox Game Pass that they did.
I think this is a next level up from Origin Access that lets you get new games. And it's $15 a month for $100 a year for Origin Access Premier. So you can get all sorts of new games day one. I believe is what we're looking at here.
My thing is, okay, if you do it on PC, what's to stop people from having ways of bypassing their obvious kill code methods?
Really, really good security.
Uh-huh. Sure.
FIFA has the Premier League part of their game now. Yay. Madden is coming to PC. Or the next Madden's coming to PC.
Well then.
The first since Madden 08, apparently. NBA Live 19 had a new trailer. Also, Madden had the Madden Pro League champion come out to essentially have an interview with him for like 5 minutes, and I did not give a shit. Star Wars Battlefront 2 is doing a whole bunch of Clone Wars DLC, and also talked about their rough start, as they called it. They literally called it a rough start.
They needed to figure out the definition of a rough start.
I don't think a rough start includes literally causing legal conversations about loot boxes.
I mean,
Oh,
if they want to call that a rough start, then boy, all their other games have been successful.
yeah, a rough start does not make everyone else in the industry go, nope, we're not doing that anymore. Look, we're not them. We're not doing that. Please don't. Please buy our game because we're not doing that. Literally.
I'm sorry, loot boxes are fine in free-to-play games. The worst thing is when you're paying $60 for a game and then get told, oh, nope, you've got to pay us more money to get the thing you want that you should
Yep.
have had because you just gave us $60 for the game.
Yep. Although I do love Cyberpunk 2077 because did I put that in the list?
No.
Fuck, I didn't. You know that Cyberpunk 2077 trailer we got?
Yeah.
Apparently, there was an entire press release hidden in that trailer that they essentially went, loot boxes? Why would a single player RPG have loot boxes? Are you crazy? They essentially made a joke out of it. It's like, thank you, I appreciate this. As I think literally CD Projekt Red have went, microtransactions? Fuck off. Literally fuck off. Like, we don't do that.
I mean, like I said, free-to-play titles, yeah, by all means do it. Because you gotta make money somehow.
Yeah.
If I'm paying $60 for a game and I see microtransactions, guess where that game's going? Going right to GameStop to be traded in, because screw that.
Yep. Respawn Entertainment just title dropped. Literally, the guy at the I think the CEO of Respawn Entertainment was just in the crowd, and the host talked to him and is like, "Hey, I heard you guys are working on a Star Wars game, right?" It's like, "Yeah, you want to give us a title?" "Sir, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order." "That's it?" You might get an idea of what it is based off the title, and it's gonna be a darker game. And it's like, all right, that's it, everybody. Moving on. Like, I assume based off that title, we might be looking at something in line with the Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy, Jedi Outcast titles. Maybe. But until we have confirmation of that, I merely just put that out there as a suggestion. Because I don't know. Who knows? All I know is if it is, and they fuck that up, well, Disney, can really consider that fuck your contract? We're taking that, like, we're buying out that contract and we're taking this elsewhere?
I have a funny feeling it's gonna take one for screw up like that.
Yeah.
I'm honestly surprised Battlefront 2 didn't cause that.
I'm sure it got super close. Which is why EA backed right the fuck up, out the door, back to the drawing board, hard. Is because as soon as the legal shit started getting talked about, Disney went, knock it the fuck off. Now. And EA went, yes, sir. Yes, Mr. Mouse. Because I guarantee you that was the tipping point. Nothing would have changed that until we started talking legal shit. Then everyone's like, yeah, no, we're gonna listen now. We're gonna listen. I was trying to figure out. I had an ad start playing from somewhere. And I didn't know where.
Glad that the GameSpot ads were muted.
Oh,
on
apparently it
my
was the
end.
video below this article for me. Then we got two indie titles: Unravel 2, which is listed here, and Sea of Solitude. Unravel 2 has co-op, which looks pretty cool. A bit of puzzle platforming, and Sea of Solitude looks like a neat little artsy indie title. And that was pretty much it. And I gave them like a 6 out of 10, just to kind of throw a grade out there. And apparently Glock says that's too nice. I should have gave them a 4.
I mean, maybe. I don't completely agree with him, but I don't know if I would definitely say 6 either.
I
Like-
went.
Like, this kind of feels like a solid 5 to me.
Yeah, I think it went 6 because there was a couple things that actually interested me. If there was nothing interesting to me, it probably would have been a 5 or lower. Because then it would have been like, I'm bored, I don't care. 5.
Well,
6 because there's at least something here I want to play.
Well, I mean, Anthem, for all intents and purposes, does sound like a Destiny clone kind of deal.
Yeah.
Battlefield 5 trying to be the cool kid kind of just has me at, really?
It reminds me of someone using Rick and Morty as a joke of, I did this because you did this. Well, I did this because you did this. And I did this because you did this. And I did this because you did this. Essentially.
Yeah.
That's essentially what's happened here, is because one person got popular with a battle royale game, and now everyone's got to do battle royale games because that's the trend. Not realizing that trend has an expiration date.
I mean, then you got the sports. Yeah, I kind of feel like the 5. Like, maybe
Yeah.
if we'd gotten something out of Fallen Order, that might have pushed it to the 6 for me there. But
It would have,
yeah.
for me, Fallen Order would have had to been A, there to start with, and B would have had to look good. And C also really impressed me because you already have burned a bridge with me with one Star Wars title. I'm not ready to be hopping into your second Star Wars title this quick.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I feel like 5. I could see 6, really. But I feel like personally it'd be the number for Battlefield there.
Yeah. Like they didn't even do a big multiplayer demo of Battlefield 5. Like, we got no demo of Battlefield 5 until, I think, after EA's press conference when they did a demo then. Which feels so weird because I'm like, that's a thing you do for Battlefield to show off.
Yeah.
Like, even at least do a single player demo to talk of like one of your 2 big female leads, since that should be a big selling point for you. You have 2 stories with 2 different female leads. That's my assumption, because the Norwegian girl is not the girl in the box art, and I assume her story is separate. Wherever her story falls in this case, because I think I only know of one story, and that's the Norwegian story. I don't know if we've gotten another confirmation of what else is there in terms of specifics.
It's funny, EA was kind of the one that I was like, not really too caring for, and coming out of this, I'm still at that point.
Yeah. Like,
it's one of those, it really feels like I just didn't miss anything.
Yeah, like, Square at least had Kingdom Hearts for me, even though it was a remix trailer. Microsoft had a couple cool things,
but it had a lot of just filler because they didn't give us enough to go off of.
Yeah, which still feels weird. It's like, why am I disagreeing with all these people? Did I watch the same press conference as everyone else on this? Maybe I need to rewatch Microsoft's and see what's going on there, because I feel like we just got a whole bunch of titles and dates,
Yeah.
and not a whole lot of context to those titles and dates. Whereas Sony, I got titles, dates, and context, and that made me way more excited for like most of their lineup than anything from Microsoft's outside of things I already knew about. Like I
and then looking just at all of them too. You look at Bethesda; they didn't go out there to just spin their games. They went out there to give people a show and spin their games.
Yeah. Which I can't believe that Alexa Amazon thing is actually legit. That's not a joke, folks.
That wasn't a
legit
joke.
No, it's legitimate. You literally can play Skyrim with Alexa.
that is
legitimate. Yes. Like, I didn't know it was legitimate until the next day when I saw people going, "No, it's legitimate. No, you can go talk to Alexa and play Skyrim."
I thought like, that was a joke.
So did I.
But legitimately thought that was a joke.
Yeah, nah. And like, I know people are down on Fallout 76 because it's multiplayer, and the normal crowd for Fallout is like, I don't want multiplayer. I don't want trolley bullshit in my Fallout game when I'm trying to play Fallout.
I want to know if I mean, they said you can play it by yourself. I want to know, can you turn off all the online functionality? If so, what makes this different than any other Fallout?
Very true.
I mean, if you can set it up to where you're playing offline by yourself, it's a normal Fallout game. If you get to a point in the game where you don't want to sit and try to get the right items, you just want to get a group and just say, screw it, we're going, then turn the online on and go.
Yeah. Like, I don't know how engaging the multiplayer content will be, but I have to think most folks will get some fun out of going in, killing some monsters, building some fortifications, having fun, and then going, oh look, we have a nuke code. Let's go nuke something.
My thing too is, essentially you're joining player instances.
Yeah.
How is that going to incorporate? Are you going to have like 12 random people that are all in one instance? Or is it going to be like area-based instances where you'll see so many people in a certain area around you?
It will probably be like how I assume Sea of Thieves is where when you log into the game, you are put in an instance. And there you are essentially filled in, you are put into an instance that has so many people as a max. Since they said that like you're not going to see hundreds of people.
Yeah.
So I assume like
I would assume the cap would probably be maybe 20 or 30.
Yeah.
Depending on how big the map actually is. I mean, I know they said 4 times bigger, but you're still not going to want to overpopulate.
Mm-hmm. Like, I'm assuming our server is a big box, and there are a lot of smaller boxes within those boxes, and when you log in, you get put in a smaller box where there is room available. So you could end up in a server instance with 30 people, or you could end up in a server instance with 3 people. Who knows? It's pretty much, I think, how Sea of Thieves works. Where you are just smacked into an instance that has that many people available to be able to slot in.
I mean, I feel like we need more information on that part of it before everyone jumps to conclusions. They fall out.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, honestly, I feel like probably by the time it's all said and done, EA and Microsoft are probably the two weakest.
Yeah.
Like,
Of
I
course,
wouldn't necessarily say any of them are bad,
yeah.
but they all had room for improvement, including Nintendo.
Hmm.
I don't think we had a perfect one either.
Yeah, no, Sony's weird ass pacing for their press conference. It's like this is cool for the home crowd. For the away crowd, this is bad. This is kind of garbage.
Yeah.
We cold opened with The Last of Us 2, and essentially had to wait an extra 5 minutes before we could get properly started.
Yeah, that's bad planning, really.
Yeah.
Um and I mean, I'm trying to think of things that probably could have done better with the Bethesda one, but honestly, they might be the closest.
Yeah, I think the only thing with them is that I wish a couple of their things had, like, more to show off with them. Like, Doom Eternal, I wish we got more than just that.
Yeah.
Like, I understand, like, Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6 being pretty much teasers because those are, like, the next 4 years of major marquee titles for Bethesda. Like, we're not seeing Starfield probably for another 2 fucking years. And God knows when Elder Scrolls 6 is going to come after that.
Well, I mean, we know Elder Scrolls 6 is probably going to be I'd venture to say within 2 years for the first console release.
Yeah.
And then they'll just proceed to continuously have yearly console releases on everything else until they get to the point where they got to put it on Alexa also.
Yep.
No,
Like,
I have a funny feeling now that they've had a hand in all of the consoles, Elder Scrolls 6 will probably just come out on all of them at once.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they'll milk that.
But yeah, those two being there, I wish Rage's gameplay wasn't as cut up as it was. Because that was a bit too much, like, cut.
Yeah. Like, honestly, I guess with theirs, it's probably the gameplay side of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they did great on the show part of it, but they kind of missed the showing off why we want their titles.
Yeah, which, personally, I put more emphasis on, did you show me things that are actually this game? Because, you know, it's not like trailers can't lie to us. Because they can. All the time. It's bullshit. This is literally a thing Super Bunny Hop discusses on his video. Discusses in one of his videos. Like, we have literally had E3 trailers that were, like, nonsense. That wasn't the game. It happens.
Well,
so I don't...
Does anyone want to mention the Halo 5 trailer?
Yeah, that's what makes me super not interested in Halo Infinite. I'm like, yeah, what was your last teaser?
Yeah. It had nothing to do with the game.
It had 2 things out of context to deal with the game. It had a Guardian, and it had Chief looking for Cortana. That was it.
We didn't even know he was looking for Cortana then.
Okay, so one thing out of context. One thing out of context.
I mean, you technically could say it still had 2. It had Chief, but that's as far as you could go with it.
And all this teaser has is, okay, Chief on a Halo ring. Like, I legit thought it was like a Halo reboot. Because I'm like, oh, we're just gonna do like Halo 1 again.
And I've said it before, I feel like that might be their reason to bring the Halo series to PC. Like that might be another Master Chief Collection, but done right, kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
Because we know at the end of 5 he doesn't have Cortana.
Yeah.
So, did he get a new AI? Otherwise,
Yeah.
what is he putting into the slot?
He's putting in the AI from the fuck, what is it called?
No,
The install
from which one?
that one, the not guilty spark that was cool
Oh,
from Halo 5. The girl, I can't remember her name. Her.
are we? Are we at that point adopting red versus blue mentality for AIs then? Because in the Halo
At this
series
point, I'll take it.
because in the Halo series traditionally, they can't leave those forms.
Oh, I don't know then.
We've never once seen one do that.
I don't know.
Like-
I'm sure I will. I'm sure if I look at it at someone who is neck deep in Halo lore, they'll find an explanation for everything.
I mean,
But I super don't give a shit.
I mean, that could be I guess, for lack of a better term, a new Cortana. Because we know Halsey's still around. But we don't know the process of which you make the AIs, so... Nah.
Yeah, like, this tease told me nothing about Halo Infinite, therefore I don't care because I have nothing to I have no lasting impression of this besides that certainly looks pretty, and possibly a CG trailer.
Oh, definite CG. Like, there's no way that was native in engine.
Yeah. So it's whatever. Like, I'm far more interested in Gears 5 because that had gameplay, that had a plot, and it had a character I give a damn about. It also went, oh, you don't care about Phoenix's kid? Okay, then we'll just make Gears 5 about the girl who's the granddaughter of the Locust Queen? I'm trying to remember if she's the daughter or the granddaughter. I think she's the granddaughter. I don't remember. Essentially, she's blood related to the Locust Queen. And that is far more interesting. Even though that means we are dealing with the Locust once more. But you know what? It's a new way of dealing with the Locust, so I'm on board. So, shall we move on?
I guess we shall.
Alright, at the end of the Splatoon 2 World Championships, which is pretty cool, we got 2 announcements. First and foremost, we have a 3-pack of Octoling Amiibo coming out sometime this year. No specific release date yet, but it is a 3-pack. Best Buy has it listed as a 3-pack. Amazon has it listed as a 3-pack. So we have our Octoling Girl, our Octoling Boy, and our Octoling Octopus. I don't know what else to call this.
Octoling Octoform?
Yes. And I do love that they're all the same color. But also, we have a release date for the Octo expansion, and it's tomorrow. Like, no joke, no hyperbole, it is tomorrow afternoon. So if I were you folks, and if you're interested in Octo expansion, you might want to buy it like right now, because come tomorrow, the shop will probably crash again from everyone trying to get the Octo expansion when it comes out.
Yeah.
We also got to look at 2 new weapons, I think a new bucket and a new Gatling gun, and a kind of like penthouse apartment pool map. Those are to come to updates, and they are updating weapons for till I think the next 6 months. They want to. I think it's what they said. Like they are updating the game past their 1 year statement for an additional number of months. So, I bought Octo Expansion. I'm playing it tomorrow whenever it comes out. I'll be able to tell you how it is.
I won't be able to for a little while.
Yeah, I figured. Because, when I bought it, it still had the old release date of next month. I'm sure it's changed by now. But I was like, wow.
I kind of want to look now to see if they have updated that part.
I know they didn't update Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Season Pass reflecting the story DLC. The actual story DLC that got announced in the Direct, which I am all for. Granted, I knew exactly what it was before they announced it, because it was in the data already. But cool. I assume it's still the same.
I'm trying to get it faded in and figure out where it's at. Because I would have figured it would have been on the...
Nope. I looked up Splatoon off the bat and just pulled it up through there.
I would have figured they would have put that in the coming soon part.
Nope.
Of course not.
The eShop is not the best formatted, let's be honest. But I'm excited to get a hold of the Octo expansion. And between these three amiibo and the two that got announced at the Direct, the Ridley and the Inkling Girl, well, there's my 5 amiibo to break my 100 amiibo marker. And depending on how we count the R-Wing, that's like 106.
Interesting.
Oh, does it?
The Octo expansion has an estimated release date for the end of July.
Yeah, that's still the old release date.
Yeah.
Oops. Haven't updated that yet. Yeah, you should have heard the crowd when he announced it was tomorrow. They lost their goddamn minds. Because I assume they were like us in assuming it was the leaked release date, which had it listed as next month, and like the eShop release date that had it said as next month, and not, oh, tomorrow. I would assume everyone would have super lost their shit. EB said it was available right now.
Well, to be fair, they probably didn't want to because they already had the eShop break once.
Yep.
That more than likely was a case of let's refrain from that happening a second time in one day. Because for those that didn't know, yeah, the eShop broke when they said Fortnite was going to be on the Switch after 10.
Yep.
AKA after the press conference.
Yeah, it broke.
And yeah, it broke during it.
Yeah, it broke the moment people heard Fortnite on Switch. Also, apparently, Nintendo's stock went up 2% as soon as they announced that.
It wouldn't surprise me one bit. It honestly wouldn't.
Because the stock market makes a total lot of sense.
Well, it's like the stock for Microsoft skyrocketed when they announced Windows 10. I mean, just the announcement of things is enough to do that. And as popular as Fortnite's been, yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Now, I'm surprised it didn't like double itself again when Smash was announced with all characters.
I don't know if it did or not. I only saw the stock number for Fortnite. I still have to I I have rewatched that little moment twice now, and by my God, is that beautifully paced to make you go like, oh hey, the Ice Climbers are here. Of course they're gonna be here. They got cut from Smash 4 because they were developing for DS, and since they're developing just for Switch, well, they're back. And then Snake shows up.
And has his big plot dump too of everyone's back before they even
Yeah,
finish announcing everyone's back.
yeah,
That was clever.
yeah. Like I love that Snake is the one. Snake is the beat they chose to go. No, everyone's back because of anyone else that was cut. Snake was the most questionable to come back, and he comes right after Cloud, who was again the most questionable about coming back because that would probably be a whole relicensing fiasco and shit in order to get back go back around the second time, because that was a miracle moment. But to have that beat and then just go, yeah, everyone's back, and then go on to prove it by going, here's everybody. It's just like a holy shit. You're not kidding. And I love all of the art, the official art we've gotten. The big, long, wide art of everyone minus Ridley, because I believe only the art I linked you has Ridley.
Yeah,
Which that's partially the box art, by the way.
I figured as much.
Yeah, the big long piece does not have Ridley in it, unless they've updated it with Ridley, which I hope they update that piece if they put out anybody new, because that is a gorgeous piece of artwork. But anyway.
Yeah, I started out having that as my desktop for all three until I realized that I can't see my icons on my main display, so I had to make a custom one where I could actually see something.
Yeah, I'm probably changing my lock screen here a bit. Because my lock screen for my laptop is a Smash related image, but it's someone who did stained glass for all of the Smash fighters at the time, including the cut ones. Now I have official artwork for that. So, well, that's getting changed. But shall we move on to a bit of Resident Evil related news?
I guess we shall.
They actually confirmed a gameplay detail about the remake. Apparently, the zapping system, the system that allows you to affect Leon and Claire's campaigns interchangeably by essentially helping and hurting them, that won't be there anymore.
Huh.
They're going to be separate campaigns that they don't affect each other, but they'll have kind of crossover moments, I assume, like Resident Evil 7 had.
Huh.
No confirmation of we're changing the story at all. I assume not, but I think Claire has kind of a different outfit than her original outfit from RE2. Yeah, I am still amazed. It's like this is coming out in January, like 4 days before KH3. Like literally 4 days before KH3, and I'm like, oh my god. We do have some additional details about Smash.
Boy.
Yep. Smash is running 1080p, 60 frames while docked. And on portable and tabletop, it's 720p, but still 60 FPS.
Wow.
Yep. There is, of course, GameCube controller support and support for the adapter to give yourself 4-player and up to 8-player with 2 adapters. And I can say, my God, is it running beautiful? Because I got plenty of looks at it from the invitation. It is looking really good. Like, apparently some people are still calling this a port. I disagree. It is a port under the hood. Because I feel like it's more than likely under the hood, it's Smash 4. But since it's under the hood Smash 4, and that is easily portable from what we've seen, they've went, let's do everything. No more holding back. No more cutting bullshit. Every character we can get a hold of. Every assist trophy we want to do. Every Pokemon we want to do. Every stage. Every fucking thing we ever want to do. We do it. We are not holding back. Which is why we have 68 fighters in this game. And have you seen pictures from the booth? Oh my God. They have a sandbag, like a life-size sandbag. They have Mario's hat, Peach's tiara, the button thing on her dress, and her gloves, the Monado, a full-scale Monado from Shulk for Shulk. Fox's visor and blaster, Bayonetta's guns, Kirby's hammer, a golden hammer on a pedestal, the Master Sword, and a Sheikah Slate.
Ooh.
Mars Falchion, not Lucina's, Mars. Shit, what else is there? Oh, Donkey Kong's tie. And it's big and huge and looks like it'd be going on a month. Like, they have all of these little things in display cases, and I'm like, oh my God. And I just look at that Monado and go, that is gorgeous. Because it's all metallic looking, too. And, like, the Master Sword and the Falchion look like actual fucking blades. And they probably are actual fucking blades. Like, it is impressive.
They needed Cappy.
Mario's hat's there, but it's not Cappy.
They needed Cappy. Of course, are we sure it's not Cappy?
I don't think anyone's put...
Cappy's eyes only appear in idle animations. Or in captures.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Fortnite on Switch does not include the Save the World stuff?
Nope.
Well, it's not like anyone's cared about that mode anyway.
Well, it makes me wonder if that might come later. Like, if they don't decide to throw it out, that is.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe when they take it out of the closed beta state it's in,
Mm-hmm.
that might come then. I'd venture to say this is probably effectively a beta version of Fortnite for the Switch, because I'd say they want to make sure there's not some kind of game-breaking bugs people can do with the Switch version.
Mm-hmm. Well, I just saw an article that just said, hey, that it's not there, and here's why.
Probably not there because I'd venture to say they've probably been thinking about removing it.
They straight up said we have no plans for Save the World on Switch. It's almost like that mode is not the reason people like Fortnite, and probably people don't play it that much.
Well, people probably could play it if they would let everyone play it without buying the Founders Pack.
Yep.
Just saying. One of those game developer complaining that game mode's not being played because it's behind paywall.
Isn't it a $60 paywall?
I don't think it's that high, but still, it's behind a paywall. Like, okay, if you're going to put something like that behind a paywall, at least take the Payday 2 approach to it. That way you can get a good gauge of if people are interested. Let one person that has it be able to invite others in.
Oh, another thing that got confirmed from the trailers, the character trailers, Wolfen's Final Smash is going to be kind of like the Star Fox. So Star Wolf is in Smash for the Final Smash.
That's something that I was kind of wondering. Wolf was not classified as a Echo Fighter, but wasn't really he the early version of Falco, so to say?
He was another clone in Brawl.
Yeah. So, what's different about him enough to be not considered an Echo Fighter?
The same reason Luigi's not moveset acts differently, has different things, even though they do like his moveset's kinda different. Like his side dash or his side smash, instead of going straight, it goes up diagonally.
So the same reason Falco's not considered an Echo Fighter.
Pretty much.
Because I'm wanting to say, doesn't Falco's kind of have a diagonal touch to it also?
I think it has different properties. Yeah, I think his has different properties to it, is his difference. Like, I know his reflector is different, but I think Wolf's reflector is the same as Fox's, right? But his blaster is different because it is slower, but it hits harder per shot. It's, again, a lot of property differences that make him different.
Although, you know what they've done? They have effectively introduced not only Echo Fighters that are clones, but now we also still have clones that aren't Echo Fighters.
So what was the tier system here?
I guess if we go off of Nintendo base, clone beats Echo Fighter.
So Echo Fighter is a glorified costume?
I guess. Like, that seems to be, in all intents and purposes, how they've kind of designed it.
Well, shall we talk about a neat little, actually Labo-inspired thing?
I guess so.
Alright, apparently Nyko is coming out with essentially a cardboard little arcade set for the Switch.
That looks cool. Ooh. Could you imagine playing a game like ARMS on something like that?
That would be pretty cool, and I love that they give the little extension arcade sticks to the Joy-Cons.
Like, I know it's supposed to reminisce like Atari age and like traditional arcade cabinets, but I could see stuff like that working too.
Mm-hmm.
Smash. Ooh.
and like $20. But I don't know how big this is. Is that the Switch actually?
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure because that picture looked like just a image.
That's the Joy-Cons sitting there too, so I mean that would be
Yeah,
size relative.
yeah. I figured that was the Joy-Cons, but I'm like, is that the Switch? Because that just looks like you made a box with an image and you slapped it in there. Because that doesn't look right.
No, it kind of does, because you can see on the far side the cardboard kind of sitting out from it. If that was an image, it'd be more flat.
All right. Well, I meant like that's just a black box with an image printed on it.
If it is, then it's the same size.
Yeah. That made me think of like, oh, this is just essentially controllers. Like you don't actually put the Switch in there. That's just for aesthetics. No, you actually put the Switch in there.
Yeah,
Okay,
you
good.
can put the Switch in there because they got the side slot.
Yep. And it's like $20, and it comes out in November. This kind of stuff.
I would get it.
Yeah. Like I'm sure this is probably like a 20, 30-minute build and you're done.
It is kind of good that Nintendo's allowing other people to go in on it too.
Yeah.
Because we might start seeing stuff like this come out of it.
Good. Well, we got one last Nintendo related thing. Would you like to see how Starlink actually plays?
I guess so.
With the R-Wing? Because we got that. Thanks to whoever took this footage off the showroom floor that Silicon Era has embedded in their article.
All range mode.
So yeah, I'm gonna skip past this intro. I'm gonna say pick it up from like the 5-second-ish marker.
Alright. And I'm gonna do this for a second. Back. Because I kind of can't have both playing the way that I do this. And I really want to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Ready when you are.
Alright. Kick this off in 3, 2, 1, go. I don't know if this is GameSpot or not, or this might be GameSpot's footage.
It is.
Considering that logo. Is it?
Yeah. It's on their channel.
Okay. Okay, I'm curious. Is there a loading screen as you go towards the planet?
That
We seem to be in.
Feels like it's got a unique design to it, which is kind of good.
Yeah. I think it's because they have to like adapt it to using those the extra weapons.
Well, it's not that so much as the main body of it. It just looks like it's bulkier.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Like bulkier and compressed all at the same time kind of deal. It's not a bad look, but it's a unique one.
Yep.
I wish this game was set up for it. The walker would be cool right here.
Yeah, it would make sense that the walker's here, considering you're low to the ground, you're kind of falling back to the ground all the time. Like, why does this not turn into the walker? Unless Nintendo was like, don't remind people about Star Fox Zero.
No, I don't think it's that. I think it's a case of the game's just not designed for that. It's designed for ship combat.
Yeah, because that'd be a whole brand new like model essentially that they have to swap in and out.
Yeah. I would love to see Ubisoft's take on a actual Star Fox game though,
Yeah,
because this feels right for it kind of deal.
yeah. This
And
feels like perfect
and
for the Walker.
I feel like if Ubisoft was to do a Star Fox game, Nintendo would have to tell them you are not allowed to use Andros. Just be like,
Yeah,
we killed him in Zero. We count that as the restart point. You have to go off of that, but you can't make him the big bad guy.
yeah. Like do your own thing.
Because honestly, I kind of feel like that needs to be the thing to push Star Fox forward. Otherwise, he's going to be stuck in. Other, Otherwise, the whole game franchise is going to be stuck in crossover limbo.
Yeah, it'll be stuck telling the same story over and over and over again.
And when it does get to break out of that story, we get this kind of deal.
Yeah,
Which I'm not saying it's bad, by no means, but
yeah.
it would be better to have an actual Star Fox game, in my
Hmm.
opinion.
Yeah, I think the problem with this game is going to be the gimmick. Because bear in mind, this ship we're seeing it gameplay wise, that is essentially bolted onto your controller. Or in
Or
the
is the Joy-Con grip?
well, I was going to say the Joy-Con grips are bolted into the giant brick that you put them in for this.
Oh, they hook to it. The grip does.
Oh no, the two Joy-Cons don't they go in the essentially
Oh
the
yeah,
the
yeah.
holder thing?
But it's essentially a custom grip at that point.
Yeah. But you once more have the big ship bolted on your controller. I say bolted, but I'm not sure how sturdy those connections are. That worries me personally.
If they didn't make the figures too heavy, it shouldn't be a problem. And from
Mm,
the looks of it, it looks like it's maybe a little bigger than Amiibo scale,
yeah,
which that might not be bad. It
I was
might
about to
be
say this.
one of those that looks more awkward than it will be kind of deal.
I was about to say, does Fox not talk? But oh, Fox isn't the pilot. Somebody else is the pilot. 'Cause I know one of them mentioned Cornerian Army. And I'm like, Fox, you're not going to talk about that? Oh, right, Fox isn't the pilot here. So I guess depending on the pilot, you can get different conversations and stuff, and maybe you get different stat bonuses, and maybe there's synergy for pilot and ship, possibly.
Oh, that's cool. You can go in reverse with it.
Yeah, that's nice.
I'm wondering how much of the game is combat setups like this, where you're
Mm,
real low to the ground. Because if so, then that kind of takes away from the ship part of it and makes you really wonder why they didn't want to adopt something like the R-Wing Walker concept.
yeah, or just make their own Star Fox inspired ship. Because, like, I would say Landmaster, but the Landmaster's not this fast.
Well, it would have to be something that your main ship could transition to. That's why I was saying more like a
Yeah, yeah,
R-Wing Walker concept.
The Walker is the perfect fit. But if we're like it's looking for some kind of like land speeder thing, that I don't think Star Fox has ever done something like that.
Well, it wouldn't even really have to. I mean, honestly, if a lot of the stuff was you being on kind of low to the ground like this, maybe being able to even customize what kind of ground option you have would be interesting.
Yeah.
Like maybe let a speeder be an option, let something like a mech be an option. Probably could even get creative and depending on what guns you might could allow it to turn into like a tank.
Mm-hmm. And it looks like the rest of this gameplay is just this mod. Although we do get to see guns attached to the wing.
How far in?
Uh, Somewhere past the 11-minute marker at least.
You think?
I'm looking through it right now. About 11:40 ish. Yeah, about 11:40, 11:45 is when they start putting stuff on the wings, which again is you attaching things to the R wing or any ship
Ooh.
in this case of this game. I don't know if these are the weapons that are coming in the pack, or if these just are weapons you can get. Because I think we're getting 4 weapons in the pack.
I think.
I think 2 of them are specifically Star Fox weapons because I think they mentioned G diffuse or G tech stuff. They're like G something something and G something something. So I'm like, oh, those are Star Fox because you're referencing the G diffuser.
Although looking at this, they ought to have smart bombs in there.
Yeah.
Because like that purple orb would be probably the closest thing.
Mm-hmm.
I like how seamless it was too to put them on.
Yeah. That's because this thing is bolted onto your controller. Your controller is constantly reading the I assume the RFID tech chips and stuff for this, so it knows immediately when things change. Like
Yeah,
this can't
but
happen.
okay, even with that, it does take amiibos a little bit to transfer all the information too.
Right.
Like that felt seamless. Like as soon as they put it on, they were up and going.
Yeah. There might be some stuff in the ships themselves to help kind of alleviate or kind of speed that up, which might be why they're so big. They are hiding some other tech in there besides just an RFID chip.
Might be. But you got to be careful with that because if it's too heavy, like I said, that's where you cause problems.
Yeah. Or am I? No, I wouldn't think I'm using the grip.
He did a barrel roll.
And that's pretty much it. It looks pretty good. That gimmick is what scares me. But it's that gimmick is the gimmick is the reason I'm interested in this game because R Wing. So oh my god,
What?
people are doing a memorial for Cade already at E3, I think, or somewhere. I'm just seeing a picture from Bife of just like here is people doing a memorial for Cade because he's gonna be fucking dead. Come September. God, see, like this is the double-edged sword of this whole situation. If this was Zavala, I don't think anyone would have gave a shit.
But you know what's funnier? Cade would want it this way.
Yeah,
Like, no joke. Oh god.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, this sucks because this is a double-edged sword. The only reason this works is because people give a shit about Cade. But it sucks because if Cade's gone, who do we care about on the Vanguard? It sucks even worse because they can't kill another Vanguard, kill anyone else Vanguard-wise because they already got featured in DLC. Like we've gotten 3 DLCs since year 1, leading into year 2, and Forsaken being the third one and the one to not feature Cade yet, or not feature a Vanguard member yet. It's got to be Cade. Also, I'm just gonna say this right now: the raid better you killing Udine. I think it's Udine, Prince Udine, who's the one who kills Cade. The raid better fucking end, or however you kill him. It better end with you pulling Cade's gun that he stole and shooting him right between the eyes. Like, that needs to be the last shot.
Yeah.
If you don't do that, you're not doing the story justice.
You know, I just thought of something. They could pull an elaborate ruse and Cade not be dead.
I don't think so.
Because, I mean, let's be honest, Cade's sense of humor can be twisted. And, yeah.
He fakes dying. Or he's just like, oh shit, what happened? I've been out for 3 days.
Yeah.
Wait, who stole my gun? Wait, why do you have my gun? Wait, what do you mean you killed somebody with it? What do you mean I died? What are you talking about? How long have I been out? I would love that, just as a huge dramatic community. Just King walks in nonchalantly. He's like, "Oh shit, my head hurts. What the fuck happened? What do you mean it's been 3 weeks? Wait, why do you have my gun? What do you mean you shot somebody with it? What do you mean you killed that asshole? He killed me? What? Okay, I need a drink. Or whatever fucking Exos drink that is hard and alcoholic based. Because I'm sure he needs to hit that hard to be just to go, holy shit, I died. Died somehow. I don't understand anything. But that is pretty much it.
Yep.
Tomorrow will be a bunch of stuff from the showroom floor, and I am personally making a list of everything that has been announced or talked about at E3 this year, and just to have a list of things that I'm excited about and a list of things to reference to, so I don't forget things like I always do with E3. Because I'm sure there are some things I'm excited about right now that I'm going to forget about come November.
Probably. Be one of those, be doing the releases and be like, oh yeah, that was coming out.
Oh yeah, that thing. Yeah, for Tommy, I'm Peace. Now everybody, we will see you tomorrow for the other half of us talking about E3 that is in press conferences.